Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The U.S. consumer remains resilient. Data from MasterCard showing retail sales rose 4.1% on Black Friday. That surpasses last year's 3.4% growth. So better than last year and better growth as well. For a boots on the ground look at the consumer, we welcome Marc Rosen, Catalyst Brands CEO. Catalyst is the parent company of retailers like JCPenney, Brooks Brothers, Eddie Bauer, Aeropostale, Lucky Brand, Nautica. You know all the names. Marc, welcome to the program. Thanks for joining us here in studio. How was Black Friday and how is Cyber Monday shaping up?
Yeah, thank you for having me. So Black Friday was, as it always is, I think it's just a super exciting day for all of us in the retail business. I was out in stores that morning and we had lines around the store at our JCPenney stores that morning of customers coming in for our 5 a.m. deals. They were waiting to get a snow globe, which is one of our historic nostalgic giveaways, but also a coupon book. I think consumers were really focused on value and deals this holiday. I will say the other big thing that we noted on Black Friday was Gen Z was fully in on Black Friday this year, and it was really exciting to see Gen Z shoppers out in the malls. Our Aeropostale brand did really, really well with strong sales and a really strong presence of Gen Z coming out.
It does feel like there's like a 90s comeback somehow.
That's right.
I don't know when Aeropostale really hit the first time, but there's definitely a second wave for these kind of brands.
That's
and
right.
You own a lot of them. How is that shaping up and what's driving it?
It's across the portfolio, right? I think the thing that brings our brands together is we have historic brands that the consumer knows and loves, and the thing that brings them together is it's also incredible fashion at a really affordable price. I think so. If you look at Aeropostale for the teen customer, all the trends, Y2K is actually the trend right now, right? It's the wide leg, the baggy, the low-rise denim, and that's doing really well. And so we're seeing consumers really come in for that. Brooks Brothers, which I know you're a shopper
It's near and
of.
dear to my heart.
Exactly,
yeah.
Right? So Brooks Brothers also had a great Black Friday, and we're moving into Cyber Monday, but there it was all about sweaters. So merino wool sweaters, cashmere sweaters, and the quarter zip is actually, we have a quilted quarter zip that was our #1 selling item on Black Friday as consumers are coming in for that.
What are the common themes among the brands? You've had significant growth over the past few years and you developed a great portfolio of brands. What are the common threads behind all of these businesses that you've put together?
I think the common theme, if you put it all together, is really accessible fashion for the American consumer with brands that they know and love. And that's really the thing is we've been able, as we put the whole portfolio together, if you think across JCPenney, if you think about Lucky Brand, and if you think about Aeropostale just as the primary brands for denim, and you think about the amount of denim that we source and buy for consumers across all of those brands, what the combination, which was just formed in January, has allowed us to do is put together all of that sourcing and really make sure that we're bringing the best value for the consumer by finding the best prices on denim and really giving that to the consumer on days like Black Friday. And in this time where the consumer is really value focused, that is what's making the difference right now.
So how have you navigated what's been a volatile year in terms of policy, right? Tariffs, I imagine, must have a huge effect on the amount you pay for textiles. How do you equal the hit of that in margins?
We work closely with our suppliers. Again, I think the combination this year was probably really well timed with tariffs to give us the combined volume of things like denim, like fleece, and looking at that combined buy across the total portfolio, and then working with our suppliers to get the lowest possible cost for consumers. And we've been committed to that throughout the year. At back to school season, we talked about it, but again at Black Friday, if you look at JCPenney, for example, well over half of the items that we offered at Black Friday deals matched the pricing of last year, because that's really the job of our merchants, is to make sure that they can deliver that pricing for the consumer. At Aeropostale, we delivered the same promotion that we had last year, which was buy one, get one free denim. And again, that's our merchant teams working with our suppliers to make sure that we can bring that to them. And at Brooks Brothers, it was the cashmere and the merino wool sweaters, the same pricing as last year.
So, I mean, good deals for Black Friday and for Cyber Monday is great for the consumer, but you must have to take price somewhere, right? So what's it look like over the totality of 25 and going into 26?
Yeah, as we look across the total portfolio, again, it is the job of our merchants to make sure that they are working to get the best costing from our suppliers and deliver that in value to the consumers, and we mix that out across the total portfolio. And so we are really focused on making sure that the key items that our customers are looking for at the big moments like Black Friday and throughout the year like back to school, that we are delivering like item at like value.
In terms of 26, what do you expect for next year? Because the consumer has been resilient. The U.S. consumer is always resilient, right? Don't count out the U.S. consumer. But consumer confidence numbers were low. There's real worry about the labor market. And I was surprised to see such growth in this season. So what do you expect for next year?
I think the interesting thing about the consumer is we definitely see that the consumer has stretched wallets right now. But we also know that the consumer is going to make sure that those moments that matter for their families and the ones that they care about, that they are going to make the most for those moments. And so the consumer is going to have holiday and Christmas this year. What they're searching for is really more for value. And that's where we really win. I think, at JCPenney, for example, this was the 4th year that Wallet Hub named us as the best place to find Black Friday deals. So we're making sure that we have the deals, that we're showing the value, and that is what's really important to the consumer, because although the wallet's stretched, they're also committed to taking care of their families.
All right, Marc, great having you here in studio. Thanks so much for joining us on this Cyber Monday. Marc Rosen there of Catalyst Brands.